coming off perhaps the biggest week in company history, momentum was high for WCW a day after the Bash at the Beach pay-per-view, and a week from the big event from the Georgia Dome hyped as the biggest Nitro ever. The show opened with highlights from Goldberg vs. Hogan last Monday, with the announcers mentioning that the match broke all records as the most watched match in cable TV history. WCW opened with a strong confrontation between Hollywood Hogan and Scott Hall. Hogan blamed Hall for letting Goldberg get to him, with Hall responding that Goldberg might have beat him, but then he took Hogan's belt, setting up a big first-time ever Hall vs. Hogan match for later in the show. Raw opened with a big surprise with the return of Shawn Michaels, making his first appearance since WrestleMania 14. Michaels joined King and JR as a special commentator for the night, making several interesting comments throughout the show, including saying that he ordered the WCW pay-per-view last night while taking shots at the show in the tag match main event. Undertaker vs. Vader was next, with Kane and Mankind coming out moments later, continuing the storyline if Kane and Taker are teaming throughout the show. After doing a big number for his return last week from the near-tragic neck injury in April, Buff Bagwell opened the second hour, calling out Rick Steiner before Hogan came out, saying that he doesn't like all this babyface crap from Bagwell as a member of the NWO, ending with him pushing him out of the wheelchair. In one of the big segments of the night, Raw hyped the nation's reaction to the DX imitation last week, with Rock, Owen and Henry off the show last Monday. The segment was promoted as the nation's first response. One of the highlights of the skit was Jason Sensation, a big wrestling fan who was doing some great impersonations of performers, playing the role of Owen Hart. Jason returned and joined the commentary team for the follow-up angle, introducing himself to the audience as a fan, while doing some more impersonations of Bret Hart, Taker, Austin, and Michaels, leading to Shawn taking a shot at Bret, asking if that's some mid-carder, coming a few minutes after Bret wrestled Finley on TNT. The nation responded to each member of DX, with Owen targeting Jason, coming out and putting him in the sharpshooter to start a nation the DX Brawl, which led to a tag match, bumping Raw over 700,000 viewers to a 4.8 rating for the segment and the match. Dallas Page came out the day after the biggest match of his career, cutting a promo on Hogan in the match, beating the Disciple before being attacked by Hogan on the entranceway. Between July 6 to July 13, WCW completed one of the biggest weeks the industry has ever seen. First drawing the biggest gate in company history, and an all-time record TV taping revenue in Atlanta last Monday. Then breaking the all-time Monday Night Tours rating record set by Randy Savage vs. Hulk Hogan on April 20 with a 6.5 rating, drawing a 6.9 for Hogan vs. Goldberg. With the huge momentum continuing during the week with big sellout crowds for all the house shows and TV tapings, the Bash at the Beach pay-per-view on Sunday, drawing the second biggest pay-per-view in company history and one of the most mainstream publicized events of all time, for the Hogan and Rodman against Page and Malone tag match, weeks after playing against each other in the biggest NBA Finals of all time. Ending with this broadcast with another sellout crowd at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, with Raw running in New Jersey also in front of a sold-out crowd at the Continental Airlines Arena. The combined audience in the buildings was over 30,000 for the night. Raw peaked at the top of the hour for the Kane and Mankind vs. Outlaws tag title match and post-match brawl, gaining around 1 million viewers to a 5.4 rating, going against Malenko vs. Mysterio. With The Undertaker, Rock and Owen coming out minutes into the match continuing the angles for tonight. Raw featured a funny segment of Val Venis apologizing to Yamaguchi-San, offering to show him a clip of his new video which showed Val with Yamaguchi's wife. The Brawl for All continued with two shoot fights. First tag partners barred Gunn vs Bob Holly with Gunn by decision, then shoot fighter Dan Severn, who was asked to participate in the hope of getting to a final of the legit rivalry of Shamrock vs Severn, over Godfather by decision with mostly takedowns. Vince McMahon came out at an unusual time, making his first in-ring appearance almost an hour and a half into the show. McMahon called out Undertaker asking him if he's working with Kane, with Taker telling him to go to hell. That brought out Steve Austin to the ring also for his first appearance of the night, asking Taker the same question and getting the same answer, 7 weeks from their SummerSlam main event, and 2 weeks before teaming up against Kane and Mankind at Fully Loaded. The X came out demanding a rematch for the tag belts which Vince booked in the main event, putting Austin and Taker as special enforcers as a way to prove if Taker and Kane are in cahoots. After Raw's big top-of-the-hour segment, viewing pattern changed with WCW gaining big in every quarter to the two main events. First for the Wolfpack tag match, jumping around 1 million viewers to a 4.5. Curt Hennig, after being built as the one who gave Goldberg his most competitive match last night, asked for a rematch with Goldberg tonight. With WCW saving the two big matches to the final segments with Hogan vs Hall and Goldberg-Hennig. The first ever Scott Hall vs Hollywood Hogan match turned the tide with WCW taking the lead, gaining over 1 million viewers to a 5.3 rating. Special referee Eric Bischoff was siding with Hogan throughout the match, bringing out Page and eventually Nash. In perhaps the biggest pop of the night, Nash gave Hall the Wolfpack sign. Hall gave it back as the building exploded for the reuniting of the Outsiders. As Nash was about to powerbomb Hogan, Hall again turned on Nash to side with NWO Hollywood. The Raw Tag Titles rematch ended up with both Austin and Taker preventing each other from counting their fall, still leaving viewers with a cliffhanger of the Kane and Taker partnership. Ending the show with another big brawl with all the factions, and Austin and Taker closing the show. Bill Goldberg was saved to the end, making his first appearance with 10 minutes left. Goldberg with huge momentum was now positioned on top to hold viewers against the Raw main event, promoted as his first title defense on television. The match lasted a minute with Goldberg going over, with the final quarter of the end of the Hall vs Hogan match, along with Goldberg vs Hennig peaking the night with a 5.4 rating.